The bragging rights. It's to have the best rib.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
The bragging rights. It's to have the best rib at the Nugget Rib Cook-Off. Is a big deal.
It is a big deal. 24 of the world's top rib cookers are looking to impress a panel of judges at this year's Best in the West Rib Cook-Off. We have a look behind the scenes at the judging process. That story tops Channel 2 News at 6:30. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Burton. Thanks for joining us tonight. A carefully selected panel of 14 judges have to decide whose ribs are the best at this year's event. The judges are a mix of culinary experts and members of our local media. Ryan Canaday has details from behind the scenes.
Here we have a member of the Best in the West Rib Cook-Off staff. His mission? To gather some ribs that will be judged and possibly chosen as best in the show at this year's event. We don't show his face or the rib booth in which he attends for the sake of keeping the judging as fair as possible.
We come to you, we take your ribs, which we're doing right now, we give you a raffle ticket. The raffle ticket's put on your ribs, brought back, and then it's assigned a new number. So that's why we call it double blind. So when the ribs are actually, the winners are determined, all we do it is by a number. We have no idea whose rib it is.
The judges eat the same ribs that are served to attendees of the cook-off, meaning they were not allowed to sample any ribs from the event before the judging took place. And these judges are serious about the competition.
You know, you always have to kind of build yourself up, because even though we're only sampling from 12 different cookers, it's still a lot of ribs to eat, and you have to kind of have your mind focused on both the ribs and the sauce.
During the 40 minutes of judging time, the judges aren't allowed to say a word. They rate each rib on appearance, texture, and taste. For added fairness, there is also one rib cooker present in the room to watch the process.
I can go back and I can tell the other cookers, exactly what happens here, and make everyone feel comfortable and confident that this is the way to judge ribs.
And when it's all said and done, picking a favorite rib isn't the easiest when the competitors are the best in the world.
I mean, they're all really good. That's the challenge. But I found some that I think I like better than others.
Covering the story, Ryan Canaday, Channel 2 News.
Now, here's Chloe Beardsley's first look at the Pinpoint 2 forecast.
And it was a beautiful day outside to eat those ribs and really enjoy the good taste of the rib cook-off. Outside right now, beautiful blue skies all around the Lake Tahoe area. Similar weather in the valley with temperatures. We started off pretty cold this morning, but warmed up very nicely for today. Although it is going to be cold again overnight, we do have a few freeze advisories and warnings across the region. Light winds continue for this evening, and temperatures right now are in the upper 70s. It's going to cool down quite a bit tonight. Temperatures right around 10 p.m. in the upper 60s in the valley, and it's going to be another cold morning with those lows dropping down into the 30s and 40s all around the area. But more sunshine and warmer weather is expected in the week ahead. I'll have the details coming up on Channel 2.
In Crime Beat tonight, Las Vegas. Police say they've arrested a man who shot and wounded a Las Vegas police officer. The suspect opened fire with a semi-automatic gun at two officers who had stopped at a traffic light. One of the officers was shot in the hand. The other managed to go after the suspect and catch him. The wounded officer was taken to the hospital for treatment. Authorities are still searching for a motive. The Reno Police Department is looking for a suspect in an armed vehicle theft. Take a look. It happened last night around 7 p.m. at the Jones West Ford dealership on Kitsky Lane. An employee was washing an SUV when the suspect presented a gun and took the car. Police don't have a description right now of the suspect, but the vehicle that was stolen is described as a 2015 Ford Escape. There was a second armed robbery last night, this time with a knife. Around 11:25 p.m., the Reno Police Department responded to a report of an armed robbery near the AM/PM at 1390 South Virginia Street. The clerk at the store says the suspect approached a customer and took his belongings. Police say the man was armed with a knife and got away with the victim's cell phone and keys, but wasn't able to start the victim's car and fled on foot. If you have any information on either of these incidents, you're asked to call the Reno Police Department, or you can contact Secret Witness. Their number is 322-4900. You can always text your tip to 847-411. Today marked 4 years since 3 Nevada guardsmen and a civilian were killed during a tragic shooting incident at the IHOP in Carson City.
This is just a small way each year a group gets together to honor all of them and pray for them and go for this run to show our appreciation and respect.
Today the community came together for the annual Remembrance Run. We spoke with James Bowman, who has fond memories of his fellow Nevada guardsmen that were killed that day. He says he'll continue to come out every year to pay his respects.
Everybody comes out here, they have their reasons for coming out, but it's memories. It's memories of the people that inspired them, the people that they worked with, the people that they loved, and they love them.
Before the walkers and runners began, General Hanifin welcomed the group and spoke about the strength of the military family. Governor Sandoval also offered a few words on his support of the military before the group paused for a moment of silence. Then the group took off, walking and running the 5 kilometers to the Nevada Guard office.
It was an honor running with them and just being able to run with them and tell them thank you for everything you've done for this country and for this community.
The event is held every year on September 6th, and it's growing bigger and stronger. The California coast is also a popular destination this weekend. Shannon Handy reports that lifeguards there are warning beachgoers about bigger waves and stronger rip currents this weekend.
The ocean and the atmosphere. Can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Labor Day in San Diego means crowded beaches.
There's no place like it. So we come down here a lot, probably about 4 times a summer.
And packed parking lots.
How long has it been since you've been looking for a spot?
About 15 minutes.
Probably 30 minutes. Hit the jackpot.
But this year, Mother Nature has added something else to this holiday weekend. Warm water temperatures, big waves, and strong rip currents.
It felt like my dad tried to pull me.
Really? Was that strong?
Yes.
10-year-old Dominic Tolona is visiting from Las Vegas. His dad says on days like this,
Even just standing there, did you feel?
Yeah, I did actually. So we moved to the areas where we didn't feel as strongly, and we always look back at the lifeguard and see where they're directing us. So we try to stay safe that way.
which is exactly what lifeguards are urging people to do. The National Weather Service issued a beach hazard statement for San Diego beaches through Tuesday. That's due to a southwest swell generated by a storm off the coast of New Zealand. In addition to strong rip currents, waves are expected to be as high as 8 feet in some places by Sunday.
Areas up around La Jolla area, wind and sea, those will be catching the waves the best right now.
Sergeant Rick Strobel says while these conditions are prime for surfers, those without experience should use caution or stay out of the water altogether.
When we get swells like this, especially out of the south, the rip current activity will definitely pick up. So you really want to watch where you swim. Always swim near a lifeguard.
And if you do get caught up in a rip current,
what you don't want to do is panic. The rip currents will not pull you underwater, and they will not pull you to Hawaii. They will only last for a short period of time. The best thing to do is to try to remain calm, raise your hand. Chances are we've already recognized that you're in trouble and we're headed that way.
Good tips. If you're staying nearby, not going to the beach, but headed to Lake Tahoe tomorrow, officials want to remind everyone to wear a life jacket and to always swim with a buddy. This is also a big weekend on area highways. The Nevada Highway Patrol is out watching for impaired drivers. The goal is 0 fatalities this holiday weekend. NHP tells us that aside from the regular boost in alcohol consumption over the holiday weekend, we also have travelers for the Rib Cook-Off and Burning Man, adding to some road congestion. This week, with the help of other local agencies, they're boosting enforcement efforts to make sure everyone gets home safely.
Anytime that we're out there on the highway, we've got a numerous amount of officers out there from all the agencies looking for impaired drivers.
So far, no fatalities have been reported, but there's still another day left in the holiday weekend, so be sure to drive safely. You may have seen the dusty cars and trailers as burners head back from the playa. Today, folks said they're sad to go home after an exciting week in the Black Rock Desert.
The trip back is everybody's tired, little sad because it's finished, but everybody's very excited to share the experience, and we are excited to be home and talk with the friends and show the pictures and show everything that we learned there.
As part of NHP's extra efforts to keep the roads safe this holiday weekend, they said to be extra careful as traffic begins to head into the area from the playa.
We may have some fatigued drivers during that time, so please make sure that you're being very cautious around all the RVs.
Some people coming.
As you've seen, burners are often hauling a lot of equipment, including bicycles and other gear strapped to the top of their cars. So NHP says to be cautious and observant of the cars around you.
Very hot weather is headed our way next week. I'll have the details coming up on Channel 2.
But first, we'll head down the back roads to a dude ranch where cowboys and greenhorns share a love of the Old West. That's next.
You're watching Channel 2 News at 6:30 with Jennifer Burton, sports with Dallas Kolodny, and Chloe Beardsley's Pinpoint 2 forecast.
If you're looking for an Old West experience, consider a trip down the trail with the top hand at a dude ranch. Jack Sutton explains in tonight's Nevada Backroads.
At the corral they gather, horses, wranglers, and wannabe cowboys known out here in the West as dudes.
Dude Ranch, we enjoy taking riders out, trying to give them a good Western experience, horseback riding, seeing what the country's all about.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Righty. Herding dudes instead of donkeys. That's the job of a guest ranch cowboy. Giving instructions, checking on safety, and making sure everybody's having a good time.
Turn your head and shoulders the direction you want to go, swing your arm that way, and you're going to kick with the offside leg. It's a big responsibility. You know, my main focus is keeping all my riders safe, and my horses safe and healthy. We're still a working ranch. We raise a few horses here, but we're not a cattle ranch. We take guests out.
Sit tall in the saddle and hold your head up high. Keep your eyes fixed where the trail meets the sky. Relax and enjoy the ride.
People from the city who've never had a chance to ride horses, we give lessons. We let them have the whole Western experience.
They travel along dusty trails, horse and rider as one. You can hear the sounds of hooves, the rhythm of a walk.
I like to see people who have never rode before and move from never being on a horse to be able to ride down the trail with confidence.
Reporting at the Greenhorn Guest Ranch, Jack Sutton, Channel 2 News.
Temperatures are forecast in the mid-90s for the week ahead. I'll tell you when and where next on Channel 2.
Now, here's Chloe Beardsley's Pinpoint 2 forecast.
Welcome back. Well, it's going to be another cold night tonight, and if you want to be like Daniel, you may want to cover up your tomatoes, especially if you live in the northeastern portion of the state. As we take a look right here, we do have a frost advisory in effect for portions of Lander, Elko, and Eureka County, and then we have another freeze warning in effect for portions of Northern California and also portions of Elko County, for temperatures dropping down into the upper 20s to mid 30s overnight. So if you live in any of these areas and you have a garden, You might want to cover those plants up or just bring them inside, keep them safe. As we take a look outside right now, mostly clear conditions, but we are getting a little bit of haze filtering into the Lake Tahoe area. Now that is likely from fires burning in California right now. More clear conditions continue in the biggest little city tonight, with temperatures just now dropping into the upper 70s. We're seeing a light breeze just out of the north at about 5 miles an hour. Earlier this afternoon, we peaked at 80 degrees for today, which is significantly below our average temperature, but we are going to see much warmer weather headed our way in the week ahead, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. But before we get there, we are going to take a look at those overnight temperatures. It's going to be pretty cold for the Lake Tahoe area, with temperatures dropping right near the freezing mark overnight tonight. Winds also are going to remain pretty calm throughout the evening, with lows dropping down into the upper 40s for the Reno and Sparks area, and it's certainly going to be a lot colder in most of those neighborhoods just outside of the city. Now, as we take a look at our satellite map, we do have high pressure that will remain over the desert southwest. That's going to bring us very warm temperatures in the week ahead, and you can see no major storms appear to be headed in our directions. Mostly clear skies will continue for the region. You can see barely any clouds even into Tuesday, so lots of sunshine is expected in the week ahead, and we're certainly going to see those temperatures increase over the next few days. We're looking at mostly mid to upper 70s for your mountain highs. Temperatures in the valley will mostly be in the mid to upper 80s in the southern portion of the state. We'll still be off to a cold start, especially in the mountains, starting you off in the 20s near Bridgeport. Northern Nevada will see temperatures ranging all the way from the upper 70s in Elko all the way up to the upper 80s in Fallon, and with mid 80s right around the Lovelock area. Still going to be off to a cold start. Some areas are going to drop down to temperatures in the 20s and 30s, and valley lows will mostly be in the 40s overnight. Temperatures tomorrow will be closer to average, so pretty nice weather is headed our way for your Monday. I'll get out of the way so you can take a look at those neighborhood conditions. Overnight tonight, surprisingly, not going to be quite as cold compared to last night. Warmer weather is headed our way by the afternoon, with temperatures mostly reaching the mid and upper 80s for the area. So very hot weather will continue in the week ahead as the ridge remains in place. Take a look at that. Temperatures creeping into the low 90s on Tuesday. And can you believe it, Jen? We're a few weeks away from fall, and we've got 95 degrees on our 7-day for Friday.
Well,
95 degrees, excuse me.
It'll be nice after it was kind of cold last night.
Yes.
Thanks, Chloe. Coming up in sports, a busy day in the major leagues. Dallas will have highlights and more next.
Now, here's Dallas Kolodny with Channel 2 Sports.
Yesterday, about a half dozen former Nevada Wolfpack players were released by their teams in the NFL, including linebacker James Michael Johnson, who after 2 seasons was cut by the Kansas City Chiefs. But he wasn't unemployed for long, thankfully, as this morning the Tampa Bay Buccaneers claimed J.M.J. off waivers. He's expected to take an impact role on special teams. The Bucs special teams coach was the Chiefs special teams coach once upon a time. Other guys that were waived, well, still no word on them being picked up by other teams or signing the practice squad yet, but we'll be sure to keep monitoring that and let you know about any changes. Well, the Reno Aces had a bad day yesterday, losing both of their doubleheader games against the El Paso Chihuahuas, getting outscored 14-2. But the good thing about baseball, usually a game the next day to make up for it. The Aces and El Paso Chihuahuas in progress right now over at Aces Ballpark. At last look, this one in the third inning. Reno with a 2-1 lead. I'll have a final for you tonight at 11. As for the Aces parent club, they had to deal with Chris Bryant and the Cubs, and Chicago's rookie absolutely hammers this one in the bottom of the fifth. The solo shot hits the scoreboard. That's 495 feet, and we're tied at 1. Same score, bases loaded in the bottom of the sixth. Miguel Montero hits a grand slam to left. The Cubs take a 5-1 lead. Go to the ninth, Diamondbacks are thinking comeback, and they get some help. Former Reno ace Nick Ahmed connects on a 2-run shot. That gets the Diamondbacks within 2 runs, but they don't get any closer. 6-4 Cubs is your final. The Giants looking for a series split with the Rockies. Ace Madison Bumgarner on the hill, but early on the Rockies had his number. 1-0. Willen Rosario drives one to left. It's a sac fly. Christian Adames tags and beats the throw home. 2-0 Colorado. But Bumgarner's teammates have his back in the fourth. Buster Posey says bye to that one. Solo shot to right, and we're tied at 2. Same score to the fifth. 2 on for Matt Duffy. This one is to center, and it's over Brandon Barnes' head. That's a 2 RBI triple. Giants go on to get the win in this one, 7-4. The Mariners and the A's. Oakland hoping to avoid a series sweep. No score in the fifth. Bases loaded for Ketel Marte, and he flies on the shallow right, and nobody in a yellow uniform can catch it. Mariners get on the board. Moments later, Sean Nolan throws it in the dirt. That's never good. That scores another run. The Mariners open up a 3-0 lead. It's good if you're a Mariners fan in this case. To the seventh, still 3-0. Billy Butler knows it when it leaves the bat. A solo shot. 10th home run of the year for the A's, but Mariners earn the sweep. They win today's ball game 3-2. Here's another AL West baseball battle. Rangers and the Angels bottom first, and it's Mike Trout. Blast one to right, just watch it go. 1-0 ball game after that home run, and Trout wasn't done. Bases loaded in the second. No grand slam here, flares at the center. Sac fly, that helps the Angels and their wild card quest. 7-0, your final today. Well, let's round up the NL West and head back to the Dodgers and the Padres. San Diego down a run in the third. Jed Jerko changes that with a swing. Solo homer. Pods even it at 1, but the Dodgers go back up a run, and we go to the seventh. Bases loaded. Andre Ethier, slow roller towards first, and Nick Vincent throws it away. Cue the Keystone Cops. All 3 runs come home on the air. Ethier will jog to third like he's in the park, and it's 5-1 game. That's how it finishes. 5-1 Dodgers. Finally, round 3 of the Deutsche Bank Championship on the par 5 fifth. Henrik Stenson drops in the birdie putt 4 under after the first 7 holes in the round. Then on the par 3 eighth, the always well-dressed Ricky Fowler puts over the crest and sends it to its home. After 3 rounds, he's at 12 under in second, 1 stroke behind Stenson. 5 under for round 3. He's at 13 under for the tourney, Jen.
And beautiful day to be at the Aces game.
It was, but it's still going on, so we're going to have to head out there for some highlights
Very
later.
nice.
And yeah, have a final for everybody at 11. That's the next to last game. What they call it, the penultimate game of the season. Yeah.
I don't know. Have a hot dog out there.
Maybe.
Thanks, Dallas. Coming up, Chloe, have a final look at our weather. You're watching Channel 2 News. Coverage you can count on.
Thanks.
Chloe's got a final check of your forecast.
It's going to be hot in the week ahead. Look at that. Near record-breaking temperatures headed our way by the end of the work week, mid-90s, and it's almost fall. Unreal.
I know, and it goes like this,
Believe
doesn't it? Up and down. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you back here at 11. Have a great night. Good night. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.